Herkese merhabalar, canlı yayınımıza hoş geldiniz. Soru-cevap etkinliği olacak. Joseph Azzam burada. Sorularınızı yorum kısmına yazabilirsiniz. Biz onları İngilizceye çevirip Joseph Azzam'a ileteceğiz ve o da cevabını iletecek. Çevirmen arkadaşımız da size Türkçesini iletecek. İsterseniz başlayalım. Ben ilk soruyla başlamak istiyorum. Why should we use Unreal Engine? What are the advantages of it?
Okay. It depends on the project you're using to build.
Sizin kullandığınız yaptığınız projeye bağlı olarak.
So if you're doing a project outside of games for architecture, movies, for example, we have a great set of tools.
Filmler tarzı işler için de bunu kullanabilirsiniz.
If also you want to do a computer game or a mobile game, and
oyun
you
yapımında.
Your project to look the same on all platforms, so you would just make your game and look exactly the same on your computer, your phone, your tablet, your PlayStation.
Oyun yapımında bilgisayar, tablet ve benzeri işlerde Unreal Engine'ı kullanabilirsiniz.
There's the graphics, the fidelity, if you care about having realistic graphics or even stylized. The set of tools that includes our particle effect systems and our cinematic system, physics.
Sinematik sistemler, fizikler ve grafik sadakati konusunda çok güvenilirdir.
So yeah, just you have to know the project you're working on, know the features you require, and then search which engine is best for you and check out like how. If you have any questions, you can always just like email me or send me on Twitter at Joseph Azzam, and I'll try to let you know, like give you advice what you should do for your project.
Benimle Twitter'dan, Instagram'dan iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Eğer bu oyun motoru hakkındaki düşüncelerinizi öğrenmek için.
It's Twitter, not Instagram.
Evet. Pardon, sadece Twitter, Instagram değil.
Okay, thank you. And also, if there is no question, then I'm going to ask the second question. Should we be a pro about programming languages, or at least should we know a little about programming languages while working with Unreal Engine?
Okay. Well, with Blueprint, you don't need to know how to do proper programming. You can just...
Doğru bir programı yapmak için ne yapmanızı bilmeniz gerekmez.
Someone who's an artist, for example, can do simple functionalities for his game.
Sadece oyunun fonksiyon işlevini çözümlemeniz yeterli.
Or even a beginner programmer can find the Blueprint very easy to start with and start even making game like a complete game in Blueprint and ship it.
Bu programı kullanmak aslında kolay. Çok da mevzu.
However, having knowledge in programming languages and going like studying the basics will help you in a lot of deals.
Temel şeyleri ve detayları programda bulabilirsiniz.
To help you create more efficient code, code that is easier to modify, to expand.
Kodları düzenlemeniz için ya da expand yaymanız için daha içerikleri bulabilirsiniz.
So if you're a small team, it's also useful to at least have one person who knows how to do proper programming. But as a start, it's not needed. But over time, it is recommended, definitely.
Eğer küçük bir takımınız da varsa ve uygun programlama yapmayı düşünüyorsanız bu sizin için de uygun olabilir bir program.
Okay.
Ama programı bilen en az bir kişinin de olması gerektiğini söyledi aynı şekilde. Yani az çok. Okay, and Cemal also have a question. He said, can you tell us a little bit about your career in Epic Games and Unreal Engine?
Okay. Well, I started using Unreal Engine 3. It was called UDK back in university.
Engine 3'te de çalıştım.
I studied telecommunication actually, but
Telekomünikasyon bölümünde çalıştım.
game development was a hobby of mine, so I just started learning online on my own and started making games.
Oyun gelişiminde daha sonra ilgili olduğumu düşündüm ve o kısma yöneldim.
And after I graduated, I kept working on my personal project on a game and tried to ship it, went to conferences, talked to developers, and eventually met people from Epic Games who were looking for someone in the region to hire as an evangelist. And
Mezun olduktan sonra yine çalışmaya devam ettim. Değişik konferanslarda konuşmalar yaptım, değişik işler yaptım ve böyle devam ettim.
I was also managing the community in Lebanon at the time, so which made it great for this job because it required some knowledge of communities in the region and at the same time a technical background.
Toplum yönetimi hakkında da bilgiye sahibim. Tabii bu işte toplum yönetimi hakkında bilgiye sahip olmak çok önemli.
So yeah, I think people who are interested in finding a job in industry, first they should learn on their own, or talk to people, but basically get to that good experience level. Learn how to use the engine, whether by working for a company or their personal project, but they have to keep improving. And the second step is to go to conferences and network as much as possible.
Böyle bir işte çalışmak için kendini geliştirmek çok önemli. Konferanslara katılınabilir, böyle konferanslar gibi bilgi verici şeylere de katılınabilir. Ve oyun geliştirme ile ilgili tecrübeler edinmek gerçekten çok önemli.
Okay, thank you so much. And there's also one question. They say, can we work on Unreal Engine while we only know C++, but we only know C++? No more programming languages.
Well, Unreal Engine does support C++ natively, so you can actually, if anything, you can definitely do a full game with C++. C++ is even more powerful than Blueprint, and it allows you to even modify the engine code itself. So Unreal Engine is open source, so you can change the whole thing even in C++.
C++ desteği veriyor aslında Unreal Engine ve bu C++ aslında diğer kod modify etme yöntemlerinden çok daha iyi. Bu yüzden Unreal Engine kullanmak da bu yönden daha mantıklı olabilir. Yapabilirsiniz yani.
Thank you so much. And any more questions, or I'm going to ask one more question for myself? Okay. Epic Games gave lots of free games, and it's still giving lots of free games, including Grand Theft Auto 5. How can it do that? Does Epic Games have a fund for free games?
Well, I am not part of that department, but so my opinion would be more an external opinion, and it's not something you can like I don't know for sure, and I can't really comment. It's just like an opinion, but it's usually like a marketing strategy of a business when it needs to take off at the beginning. They usually have a fund for marketing. Let's say, well, we need to have a certain number of users. So they have, let's just say, usually you would have your strategy and you would execute it until you reach your target numbers of like how much users. So for example, let's say you can pay Rockstar an upfront fee for giving away GTA 5. So you tell them, well, we expect 20 million users to claim the game. So instead, here's already like, we will pay you in cash an X amount, and you let us release the game for free. So what the Epic benefit by this is now more people have games in their libraries, because, one of the main problem of not getting a store, going to a new store, is because you don't have games. So what if you have now a huge library of games on the Epic Store, and by that, basically, with each giveaway, the store grows in user base. So eventually, those people will start buying games in the future, and eventually, you will gain back the money you invested at the beginning.
İlk olarak ben tabii ki de bunu kendi düşüncelerimle söylemek istiyorum. Sadece bu kesinlikle benim şirket hakkında piyasa stratejisi hakkında bir bilgi sahibi olduğum olayıyla ilgili bir durum değil. Muhtemelen piyasa stratejisi şöyle işliyor. Belli bir rakam var. Diyelim ki mesela 20 milyon. Buna ulaşıldığı zaman strateji olarak sizin kütüphanenize yeni oyunlar eklemeniz sağlanıyor. Yani size bedava oyunlar veriliyor. Böyle bu stratejiyle belli sayılara ulaşarak size bedava oyunlar sunuluyor ve bunlardan biz yani Epic Games kar ediyor.
Okay, thank you so much. And one person said they don't give games for free; they sell it for $0.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually that's true. And also, Jamal has one more question. How good was your first game?
Well, I never finished it.
Ben kesinlikle onu daha bitirmedim. Daha henüz bitirmedim.
How good it was? Let's just say that game I not released it. Like I made it changed a lot over the years, so I kept growing. So at first it was really
Yıllar boyu oyunu çok değiştirdim.
At first it was a tower defense, then it became an RPG, and eventually it became its own original concept.
Kule koruma oyunuydu aslında ilk başta ama yıllar içinde çok değiştirdiğim bir oyundu.
But having that project, that constantly like participating in showcase, getting feedback from people, talking to developers to see if they can help, how can I fix a certain bug or program a certain feature, pushed me to.
İnsanlardan ve geliştiricilerden benim bu oyunumu geliştirmem için geri dönütler almam gerekti, aldım ve buna göre hareket ettim.
So, yeah. Eventually it became like good quality for when I was working on it, but I didn't manage to finish it because it became like a big project and we were like one or two people working on it.
Oyun çok güzel bir yere geldi ama bitirmek olmadı, nasip olmadı. Bitiremedim.
And of course I started working for Epic, and I also teach game development and manage the community here in Lebanon, so there was a lot of stuff doing at the same time.
Daha sonra zaten Epic'le çalışmaya başladığım büyük projelerde yer aldığım için bunu bitiremedim. Bir de bir yandan da oyun geliştirme eğitimleri veriyorum. Bu yüzden bitiremedim.
Thank you so much. And there is one more question. We know that Epic Games care about the game developers. For this, does Epic Games have new policies for the game developers in the future?
Near policies? Can you be more specific?
Like new advantages or new support materials can be?
Yeah, I mean, we are constantly releasing new content, whether it's from the marketplace, you have free assets each month, or educational content on the learning portal, which is learn.unrealengine.com.
Biz yeni içerikleri paylaşmaya devam ediyoruz zaten. Bunu biliyorsunuz.
We also changed our terms, so now you don't pay royalty for Unreal unless you sell $1 million in total for your game. So until you reach that number, you don't actually pay us at the 5%.
Oyununuz $1 milyon bir kar elde edene kadar siz herhangi bir ödeme yapmanıza gerek yok sizin. Herhangi bir ödeme yapmanıza gerek yok.
There's also the Mega Grant program, which is if you're working on a project in Unreal or an open source project or a community project, architecture, university, movie, you can apply for this fund, which is we just give you money to finish your project. We don't ask for anything in return. It's no string attached.
Bize film yapımı, oyun yapımı bu tarz işler için başvuru yapıyorsunuz. Ve biz sizden herhangi bir ücret talep etmiyoruz. Dediğim gibi bu belli tavan sınıra ulaşana kadar.
Yeah. Keep in mind, it's not like a full investment. It's just a small amount to help your project progress.
Bu bizim sadece size sunduğumuz küçük bir yatırım sizin işinizi yapmanız için.
Thank you so much. And also, I have one more question. Assume that we have a game idea and we also have a group, but we have some material shortcomings. Does Unreal Engine give a fund for it? Like, for example, it can be a computer, it can be some programs or system, a good PC or
Well,
something like that.
it's per case, so they have to apply for a mega grant and see how that happens. However, to apply for a mega grant, you need to have a working demo. So they need to show, look, we're already building a game and we have this quality content. However, we need a small fund to buy equipment to accelerate the process. So if they can prove that they are a team who is like qualified and is making a good game, then apply for a mega grant, and then they have to see if they can get like funds for this.
Mega Grant'a başvuruyorsunuz bunun için. Mega Grant'a başvurduktan sonra sizin bunun için yeterli bir ekip olup olmadığınız değerlendiriyor. Ona göre değerlendirilmeye alınıyor.
In the meantime, I recommend checking out if there's like a local community or a center that has computers they can use.
Yerel bir topluluk mu olduğunu ya da bir bilgisayar mı olduğunu en önce bilmemiz gerekiyor, bildirmeniz gerekiyor.
Okay, thank you. But does that support is only for the games with Unreal Engine, or
Yes.
can we do it with Unity and still do that for the mega grant?
No, it has to be based in Unreal. So the only exceptions are education. If you are making an initiative to teach people game development in general, you have to apply and then see. So it's not limited to the engine. Or if you're doing an open source project, like for example, Blender got a grant from Epic Games, Krita, and there's a lot of other tools. So if it has benefit to the community, then yeah. But otherwise, if it's a game, it has to be made in Unreal.
Tek şart tabii ki de eğitim. Onun dışında Mega Grant'a Krita gibi o tarz işler için başvurabiliyorsunuz.
Okay, thank you. And in Epic Games, which projects did you join?
Well, in Epic Games, I work basically on the Unreal Engine side. So most of my projects is demonstrating new features coming to the engine. I have a new presentation that's gonna come out really soon about crowd simulation using particle effects. So, yeah.
Benim işim genelde yeni simülasyonlarla ilgili işlerdi. Bunlarla ilgili Epic Games'te çalışıyordum.
Ve çıkacak birkaç tane projesi de varmış particle efektlerle ilgili. We have also one more question. They say about the Unreal Engine 5. What do you think about it? And the trailer was really good and effective.
So Unreal Engine 5 is really great. It's there's a lot of focus there on a few things, which is making everything a lot simpler, and you have to worry, like the workflow will become a lot simpler, and you have to worry less about the development side, and then focus just on making a good game.
Unreal Engine 5 ile birlikte her şeyi daha da basitleştirmeyi planlıyoruz. Özellikle bu oyun geliştirme yönünde daha basitleştirmeye gitmeye çalışıyoruz.
So whether it's only not have to bake lights, so you can have dynamic lights, or not have to worry about draw calls or polygons or all of that. So being able to just make something simple in any software, import it in the engine, and now you have something up and running.
Poligonlar, dinamik ışıklarla ilgili kaygılarınız olmasına gerek yok bununla birlikte. Biz bunları geliştirmeyi planlıyoruz, daha basitleştirmeyi planlıyoruz.
Yeah. Other than that, you can expect everything that you're getting right now from Unreal Engine 4, which is constant support, new features, the new physics engine, really amazing tool set for animations, cinematics, everything else.
Sinematiklerde, grafiklerde, yeni içeriklerde daha çok uyumluluğu sağlayacak bir şekilde geliştirme yapıyoruz.
And a beta will be released early next year for people to start trying and playing around with it as well.
Önümüzdeki yılın sonlarına doğru biz bunun başlarına doğru biz Unreal Engine 5'i çıkartmayı planlıyoruz.
Thank you so much. So it's gonna be simpler to do a game, right?
Yeah, that is definitely the goal. Actually, the same thing happened from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 4 with the introduction of Blueprint. That wasn't there before. And yeah, so that's always the goal, make everything a lot easier. And now smaller teams can build better and bigger projects.
Artık bununla birlikte küçük gruplar daha büyük işler, daha güzel işler gerçekleştirebilecek. Her şey çünkü daha çok basitleşiyor Unreal Engine'le birlikte.
Thank you. So by small teams, how small can it be? Like a game artist, a game designer, a game developer. So how small can it be?
Okay. I mean, I can tell you about some exceptions, but we had team of one person shipping a game on the PlayStation, and that was with Unreal Engine 4. So I can only imagine more people doing that over time. Now, of course, ideally you want to be like maybe 3 to 4 people, then they can ship games. Just make sure to pick something that is reasonable. I mean, you can build GTA 5, but probably it's not going to be the same quality if one person is doing it. Because GTA was like, I don't know, 500 people worked on it. So imagine the quality is going to drop by 500 times probably. But yeah, it allows easier to do those bigger titles now.
Tabii bazı istisnalar da mevcut fakat diyelim ki GTA 5 gibi bir oyun yapıyorsunuz. Tabii ki de bu böyle güzel bir oyun yapmak için 3-5 kişi yeterli olmayacak. 3-5 kişiyle yapsanız bile böyle bir oyunu çok daha düşük bir kalitede olacağını düşünüyorum. O yüzden tabii ki de biraz kişinin sayısının artması önemli bu konuda.
Thank you so much. Any more questions? We're looking to the chat. Bu arada chat'e yazabilirsiniz soruları. Biz ileteceğiz. O yüzden utangaç olmayın. About mega grants, how many funds that you can give a small group of people?
Right. So the mega grant program has a budget of $100 million for everything for over the duration of 5 years or 4 years, sorry. So we are halfway there. We still have like 2 years probably of the mega grant program. It depends on the project, again, depends on every studio, but on average, I would say between 5 and 35,000. Like small teams working on a game, that's probably much, maybe $5,000 to $50,000.
4 yılda $100 milyon şeklinde bir bütçe ayırdık bu işe. Tabii takım başı $3-35 bin arası para kazanabilecek şekilde bu işten faydalanabilirsiniz.
It's a good amount for a good PC, I can say. And any more questions? Arkadaşlar chat'e yazabilirsiniz ama eğer soru yoksa artık canlı yayını bitirmek durumundayız.
Daha sonradan yapacağız. Bunları altyazı haline getirip koyabilirim. Eğer istek olursa, kaç kişi isterse. Zaten çok büyük bir kitlemiz yok. Benim bir sorum var aslında. Ekipler içerisindeki iletişim hakkında bayağı bilgi sahibi olduğunu söyledi. Peki bunun birkaç triği var mı? Onlardan şöyle ufak tefek.
Do you have a tricks about the communication in the team? Because our communication was really bad at our first game, so it made us really bad actually, and also our game. So, what are the tricks for a good communication in the game development team?
Well, that is a very wide question. Maybe if you can be a bit more specific of the issues you faced, and then we can maybe talk about those.
Bu çok geniş bir konu. Ondan belli bir merak ettiğiniz bir durum varsa bununla ilgili onu sorarsanız daha rahat cevaplayabilirim.
For example, one of our developers just quitted, not even saying that to us, and we were thinking about like he was still working on it, but he left. So we were just numb, like what happened? We couldn't even understand.
I mean, yeah, it is quite common for similar stuff to happen. So I would recommend having a weekly meeting if you haven't, to just you go on Skype if you're working remotely and you synchronize, hey, I did this week and this is what I'm going to do next week. And if you do it every week, even if you don't have anything to present, at least you're aware of what everyone is doing.
Herkes ne yapacağının farkında, bilincinde olursa ve uzaktan da bir görüşme sağlayabilirsiniz. Mesela Skype'dan görüşme yapmak gibi. Bu konuda işler daha güzel olabileceğini düşünüyorum. Sorun yaşamayacağınızı düşünüyorum.
Thank you so much. And one more question. Does Epic Games have publishing games made with Unreal Engine by individual developers?
Well, not yet. Or I don't... Well, the answer is no, at least.
Cevap
I know
hayır.
we...
En azından.
Yeah, we recently started like a new... We are publishing a couple of games, but those are like bigger studios. It's still a new program. I'm not part of that team, and I don't know how it's gonna go in the future. But in case they do plan to publish for small developers, it's not gonna be anytime soon. It's gonna take years.
Ben işin bu kısmıyla ilgilenmiyorum fakat bu geliştiriciler için bu işler yapılacak gibi duruyor.
However, if you're making a game in Unreal and it reached the phase where you're approaching the market, you can always reach out to me and maybe I can try introducing you to publishers. Yeah, and you can always apply for the store to see if you can place your game on the Epic Store.
Epic Games Store'da her zaman markete ve piyasa için piyasa koşulları belli olmadığı için piyasaya yönelik hareket etme durumu var. O yüzden siz de bu pazara müracaat edebilirsiniz.
Thank you so much. Daha başka soru var mı arkadaşlar? Sorabilirsiniz. Unreal Engine ve Epic Games ile ilgili herhangi bir sorunuz varsa.
Kendi şirketi de var, isterseniz bir oyun şirketi. Onun hakkında da soru sorabilirsiniz.
Evet.
Mesela biraz anlatmak isterim bence. Onun üstünde belki bir iki soru gelebilir.
Also, you have you own a studio, game studio. Was it Epic Games?
Oh, no. Arabic Games, there was a conference we did online. My studio name was Word Void.
Void isimli bir stüdyom var ve konferanslar veriyorum oyunlarla ilgili online olarak.
How does it start actually? Like after Epic Games and Unreal Engine, did you think about a game studio or how did it start?
You're asking if I think after Epic Games or before I joined Epic Games? What was the question exactly?
Ben Epic Games'e dahil olmadan önce mi, dahil olduktan sonra mı, hangisini kastettin onu anlamaya çalışıyorum.
After Epic Games, how did you think about a new game studio and started
So,
it?
I was working on the game before I joined Epic. So after Epic, I don't know. I'm just focusing if I can finish the current game I started. But before Epic, the way it started is basically I started working on the game, networking, going to events. Eventually, I found people who were interested about the game as well. And together we started working on it. And yeah.
Ben önceden de oyun geliştiriyordum zaten. Epic'ten sonra ben bu oyunun bitirebileceğimi planlıyorum. Epic Games'te girmeden önce ise bağlantılar kurarak, kendi iletişim becerilerimi geliştirerek, oyunlar hakkındaki becerilerimi geliştirerek yoluma devam ettim.
Thank you so much. Daha başka sorunuz var mı arkadaşlar? Yazın. Lütfen yazın. Yoksa kapatmak zorunda çünkü kalacağız. O yüzden bitirmek zorunda kalacağız canlı yayınımızı. Eğer başka sorunuz yoksa. Sanırım artık kapatabiliriz canlı yayını. Thanks for coming. Thanks for this Q&A session. It was really good.
Yeah, glad I can help. And if there's anything else you need, let me know. I'm more than willing to do those chats. Maybe you can do them once or twice a year if you want to.
Eğer merak ettiğiniz ya da sormak istediğiniz bir şey olursa benimle iletişime geçebilirsiniz.
It will be really helpful actually for us. And thanks for coming. Arkadaşlar katılımınız için teşekkürler. Canlı yayınımızı bitiriyorum. Kendinize çok iyi bakın. Görüşmek üzere. And goodbye. We're finishing the broadcast. Thanks for coming again. Bye.